What is up, guys, and welcome to the Strength of Body and Mind podcast. My name is Gordon. I'm going to be your host, and this is episode 74. If you are new to the podcast, or if you've been listening for a while, I have a promotion going on right now through the end of December. This is December 2018. So I'm giving away 4 Amazon.com gift cards, and very, very easy to get. They only take a couple minutes of your time, and you'll be entered into that raffle. And your chances of getting that are actually very high because the show is still growing. And at the moment, it's still small, but it's not going to be small for long. I promise you that. So the way to do this, the way to get entered into a chance of winning one of these is very simple. Go over to iTunes, leave me a rating and a review. Okay. Leave me a review, screenshot that review on your phone, and then go over to either Instagram or Facebook and throw that screenshot up on your stories. Tag me, tag one other friend. Okay, it's that simple. I'm going to repeat that real quick. Go to iTunes, leave me a review, screenshot the review, and then go to either Instagram or Facebook stories and tag me and tag one other friend. Okay, leave that over in your stories. Tag me and tag another friend. If you do this on both Instagram and Facebook, then you will have twice the entries, okay, and a higher chance of winning. So that will all be announced in January, the winners, and I will contact you directly. But if you tag me, then I'll be able to reach out to you. I will find you, I promise. So without further ado, episode 74, this message that I'm about to leave for you is something that comes up a lot. Okay, this is basically calling out something about a lot of people, a lot of you listeners probably, and a lot of people who have contacted me directly. And the reason I know this is a systemic thing that seems to plague the world of people who are trying to make advancements in fitness, trying to achieve something, or interested in achieving something. I know this is a major problem because they tell me. People tell me. You tell me. I ask a lot of people a lot of things about fitness, and then I also am provided this information without asking a lot, okay? And it's this. You always, almost always, like 99% of the time, you have more in the tank than you think. You have more reserves in the tank than you think. And for those who are listening to this, they have ambitions of something huge, some fitness goal that is big, like they want to lose a massive amount of weight, right? And that might be 30 pounds for some people. That might be 100 pounds for other people. The number itself doesn't really matter, but just in like relative to the person, a massive amount of weight. That is a huge goal. Or you're trying to put on a considerable amount of weight, but not just any weight. You want to put on a lot of muscle. You want your composition, your body composition to still be something that is like an athletic build with low body fat percent and defined muscles and stuff like that. If you're trying to achieve something like that, that is also a monumental goal. That is a big goal. Okay. That's something that most people don't get. I like to describe this a lot as these goals. I like to describe them as non-typical and uncommon. And if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you know I say that. That is something I talk about all the time. What you want is not typical and it is uncommon. Think about your circle of friends, your network, your coworkers, your family members, all the people in your proximity. How many of them actually have the goal that you want? How many of them have achieved the thing that you're trying to achieve? And then ask yourself this: am I an outlier amongst my peers? Am I an outlier amongst these people that I keep close to me? For most people, the answer to that is yes. Yes, I'm an outlier. Yes, I am the only person out of my friends and family who is extremely passionate about being successful in fitness, or extremely passionate about losing weight and really gaining control of my nutrition and really gaining an understanding of how my body works and really developing a relationship with my body. Ask yourself that. Are you that person? Are you the outlier in your group? Okay. So one of the things that I see all the time, over and over and over and over again, is that people get going down this track. Okay. They get going down this track. They start making some progress. They see early progress, which is great. Early progress is awesome. Okay. And it's common to see early progress initially, whether it's weight loss. A lot of people lose weight quickly in the beginning, especially if they're on a really good program that was put together for them and they have someone that they can use for accountability and stuff like that. They'll see quick progress. You know, it's like their body adapting to it for the first time. There's so many reasons for it. But anyway, initial progress is typical and it's common. Let's just say you achieve that, which is great. And you start losing weight quickly and you start building muscle quickly. That's awesome. But then you hit a plateau eventually and you kind of, let's just say you even work your way through that. Or you work your way through that plateau and then you find motivation to keep going and you make a little bit more of an advancement. Okay, but you still don't quite get the result that you want. You still aren't there. Like you're like 70% where you want to go and you hit this weird wall, right? If that's you, then this is absolutely going to resonate with you, okay? Because that was me at one point, and that is so many people. So many people get to the 60, 70%. And by the way, if you get to that point, that is amazing, okay? You are still like way above and beyond what most people achieve. If you get to the 60, 70% of your goal kind of thing, where you lost most of the weight that you wanted to lose, but not all of it, you gained a good amount of muscle, but not as much as you wanted, you gained all of like the athletic or strength or power gains and advancements and developments that you wanted, but not quite enough to say, yeah, I fully reached my potential, then what's going on? I mean, if you did all that, first of all, again, that's amazing. And you should be proud of that, but that should not be the thing that you can like plant your flag on and say, yes, I'm done. You know, I'm just going to settle. Like this is good enough, right? You don't want to be that person. You don't want to settle for something that is less, significantly less, 30, 40% less than what it is you actually wanted. So the thing that people do that prevents them from moving forward is they get complacent. And the reason they get complacent is because they've worked so hard to get there that they don't know how to step it up to the next level. Okay. But here's the bottom line. When you are starting off, you don't know what you don't know, right? You don't even know how many reps you have left. You don't really know how much energy you have left in a day, like when you're in the gym. You don't really know what it feels like. It takes time to develop all that. So the people who are initially very successful, they usually push really hard and they set the bar very high for themselves. Not everyone does that. And if you have a coach, like they'll definitely kind of help you position that bar. They'll help you set that bar at a certain level. But the people who are very successful in the beginning, they set the bar high, meaning they set the intensity minimum for their workouts high. They set the length of time under tension high for themselves, meaning when they're actually lifting versus just being in the gym or being in the weight room or being wherever, they will make sure that their time there is efficient. So if they're there for 60 minutes, then 48 of those minutes are actual training minutes instead of being there for 60 minutes and only 30 minutes being actual training minutes and the rest of the time being screwing around, talking to people, being on their phone, whatever. So they're more efficient, more effective, and more focused and more purposeful with their time. Okay, there's that for sure. But then as they move on and as they encounter this period that I'm describing now where it's almost like a plateau that they can't break through, but it may not be the first plateau. It might be like the second or third plateau. And this one seems monumental. This one seems impossible to pass and get through. A lot of times it's this, okay? They set the bar so high, but now they're at a place where they need to set the bar higher. And they don't know how to set the bar higher. They don't even realize that they need to set the bar higher. They are so used to doing the same thing because they set the bar so high in the beginning. They are so used to just grinding through that more and more and more and more and more. And the more they do that, the more results they get. And because they keep getting results from doing that same thing over and over again, they just try to keep doing that. And guess what? They're at a place now where they can't. They need to up the ante. And the way that you do that is to look inward and realize one thing, and that is this: you have more in the tank than you think. Almost always, you have more in the tank than you think. What does that mean? What the hell does that even mean? It means that if you are doing 10 reps now, you could probably be doing 12. If you're running 3 miles now and you're doing them at 8.5 minutes, you could probably do a fourth. Or you could probably run those 3 under 8 minutes. You could probably run faster. You probably have more resources in your tank. If you've been doing the same weight and the same number of reps and the same rhythm, like the same lifting rhythm and the same amount of cardio every week for the past 3 years, no wonder you're not making any progress. No wonder you are not getting to that next level. You are literally doing the physical equivalent of insanity, which is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Okay, in fitness, your body will adapt to environments. I talk about this all the time. It will adapt to the load that you impart on it, okay? Whatever that is. What I'm really talking about when I say that is weight. I'm talking about weightlifting. I'm talking about resistance. I'm talking about calisthenic stuff even. If you sit there and do the same thing, the same weight over and over and over again, it will take a long time for your muscles to grow and then tear and then grow and then tear and then build up. So you will make gains off of that. You will make progress. You will build muscle. You will burn body fat from doing that. But there is a ceiling. That's what I need you to understand. There is a ceiling to this. So if you look at your entire life, you are always going to be working upwards. You are always going to be setting new limits. Now, if you are into weightlifting, and I hope that you are, but if you're into weightlifting, what does that mean? Does that mean that you're just going to keep setting your max higher and higher and higher for the rest of your life? Yeah, maybe, but we're not talking 100 pounds. You're not adding 100 pounds to your lift every year. It's not like that. I mean, I'm talking like 10 pounds here, 5 pounds here, 15 pounds there. Like if you are an adult now, let's just say in your 30s, and you are capable of bench pressing 185 pounds, okay, that's reasonable. That's fine, right? In your 30s. In your 40s, you might be doing 250 for sets or 270 for sets. In your 50s, like if you really hustle, then you might be able to do low to mid 3s for sets, 300s, I mean, right? You might be in the 300s. Will you progress much more past that? Not unless you really take it to the next level, like really take it to the next level, like focused strength programs and stuff like that. But you can continue to build strength in all these areas. And that is going to be a thing that is going to set you to the next level. Now, I'm not saying everyone needs to focus on strength, but that is an example for weightlifting. Okay. But back to my original point, you have more in the tank than you think. Even if it's just a couple extra reps, right? You need to go to failure sometimes, right? You need to use a weight, like an actual weight value for some of your exercises. That's hard. You need to use a weight value that actually challenges you. So if you're doing 10 or 12 reps now and you're just going through the motions and you've been doing that for a while, you know what? It's time to increase the weight so that you can't get more than 6, right? You need to know what that feels like. You need to put your body through that every once in a while. You need to remind your body that it is a living thing that needs to grow. It is time to grow. It's time to change. It's time to improve. It's time to adapt to a new set of challenges, a new environment. Because that's what you're doing. You're changing the environment around it. When you lift weights, when you put it through some sort of stress, which is what fitness really is, it's stress on the body. When you put your body through a new level of stress, a new range of stress, then you are changing its environment. And because you're changing its environment, your body, which is a giant organism, is going to adapt. It's going to adapt. Your muscles are going to tear down. You're going to eat some food. They're going to repair. And they're going to get stronger. They're going to repair a couple of nanometers at a time. They're going to get stronger. They're going to get bigger. They're going to be more dense. Okay. And then your ligaments and your tendons and everything is going to be able to adapt to this. And then guess what? It gets easier. Over the next 6 months, that set that you just tried doing where you couldn't get more than 6 reps, over the next 6 months, then that 6 reps becomes 8 reps, and then 10 reps, and then 12 reps. And then guess what happens? A year later, that set is easy. And now you need to up the ante again. And it may not be a year, it may be 2 years. But if you're always pushing yourself to actually drain the tank, actually drain your resources and use them to your full potential, then you will continue to drive forward. If you go to the gym or you go to your training facility, even if it's your basement, and you don't empty the tank of resources, how do you expect your body to grow? How do you expect to get that physique that you actually want? How do you expect to burn all the fat that you want? You know, you got to 60 or 70% of your goal. Why didn't you get to 100? The reason you didn't get to 100 is usually 2 things. One, time. You didn't give enough time. But more often than not, it's not time, because you gave yourself a lot of time to get to 60 or 70%. So you know what it takes to actually get results. Like, you've been through the hard part. This is just the next level of the hard part, right? It's not as hard, believe it or not, because you've already done the ultra grind, which is go from your lifestyle before into a lifestyle that allowed you to get that 60 or 70% of your goal. So you already know how hard it can be and how much sacrifice it could take sometimes, right? But what you don't know is that you need to fully expend all of the resources in order to get there. When you're in the gym, leave it all in the gym. You've heard that term before in professional football or soccer and basketball and hockey and stuff. You know, leave it all on the field, leave it all on the ice, leave it all on the court, right? The gym is no different. Like, when you go there for the specific intent of getting the result that you keep claiming you want, you need to treat that like an athletic performance, like a competition. You go, even though it's you versus you need to leave it all on the gym floor, right? You need to leave it all in the gym. Now, you don't need to do this 7 days a week. You don't need to go to the gym for 8 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you go there already for an hour a day or 90 minutes a day, 4 days a week or 5 days a week. Well, guys, you better make those the 4 or 5 or 6 most fucking efficient, powerful, well-used hours of your week when it comes to body development. Like, you can't go there and waste time. You can't go there and do that. It's not because you're going to run out of time. I mean, eventually you will, but it's because you're actually there for a purpose. You're there to do something. You're there to achieve something. And how are you going to achieve it if you don't actually do the thing? And I'm sorry, but going through the motions is not doing the thing. Being complacent is not doing the thing. Going there and using half of your resources and half-assing your way through a workout is not doing the thing. You need to go and you need to actually expend your resources. You need to actually try very, very, very hard to do this, to get this thing. You cannot just go through the motions. I can't say it enough. So when I talk to people about this, a lot of times they don't like to hear it. And you may not like hearing the words right now. Like, you think you're working hard. Okay, great. But are you getting the results that you actually want? If you're not, you need to reevaluate, am I actually working hard enough? I know it's not fun to face that, but sometimes you have to. Sometimes you have to look inward and be like, you know what? I'm not working to my potential. I felt like I was, and it's hard for me to say it out loud. It's hard for me to admit it, but maybe I just wasn't working hard enough. Maybe I'm not actually working hard enough. And believe me, if you can get to that place where you can say that out loud because you know it's true, it is so relieving. You know why? Because not only is confessing something that you know deep down anyway always a good feeling, but you actually know what you need to do now. Everything becomes crystal clear, because if you are having trouble moving forward, if you're having trouble getting results and you don't know why, that shit's confusing. It's confusing and it's frustrating, right? And it makes you tests and makes you question your confidence because you aren't getting progress. But once you admit, because the thing that you knew deep down all along, once you admit that, now you know exactly what to do. Your confidence immediately goes up because now you know what to do. You know you weren't training hard enough. You know you weren't being purposeful enough with your intentions, right? You weren't being focused enough in the gym. You were on your phone too much. You were talking to this guy for too long. You were at the counter, like, I don't know, doing whatever, talking to somebody like for too long. Like all these things come up. But if you just go there and you put on your headphones or whatever, and you just focus, you spend your time there. No, you don't have to spend more time there, but spend the time that you are there actually focused, you will get results. You will break through. That is one of the key things that separates people who are successful from people who are not, are the people who actually use their time wisely when they're there and they actually focus on the thing they're trying to get. Okay? You have more resources in the tank than you think. Use them. They're there. They want to be used. Your body wants you to use them, but it can't use them for you. It's up to you. You have to use them. All right, that's it, guys. Thank you so much. I really hope this resonated with you. If it did, tag a friend, share this episode with them, send them over here so they can check it out. And don't forget to tag me on Instagram or Facebook stories with a screenshot of your review for your chance to pick up an Amazon gift card from me personally. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget, train with purpose always. And I'll talk to you in the next episode. Take care.